It just feels very strange to be saying, literally 3 weeks in, that this is happening.
You don't want to be giving up that much control going into the final weeks because you want to be the masters of your own fate. The situation, like you said, there's a lot of teams getting themselves into. Copenhagen Flames need to show up on Anubis, get a map win, keep the series alive for them, and hopefully go for the tiebreaker. It's a tall order against this Gigantti lineup, but it's far from impossible.
If there's any map to do it on, I think it's this one, because sniper play is so prevalent. You've got a great opportunity to put Darnier on the Widowmaker and just let him go and click some heads. I mean, we thought that was what was going to happen on King's Row, but Gigantti just didn't even give them time to do that with the flanks they were pulling out. They made it incredibly hard for Flames to be able to play their own game. They were stuck playing the Gigantti game.
Gigantti going into the double sniper composition, so they don't seem to be too afraid of what Darnier and Naga can do. Well, however, Naga is going to be on the Tracer, going to be the distraction, so it's still a DPS duo, just a different style.
We saw him play this last week, and if you recall, every single time he got anywhere near the Widowmaker, she turned around and headshot him instantly, and he had no impact. It's not that his Tracer's bad, people just know what to expect from a Tracer here, I think. Unless you can see a fantastic dive come through, or something like this, a pick onto Darnier, it's going to be very hard to do very much.
That's unfortunate for Copenhagen Flames, but where's the momentum from them? It's being stalled. They're going to force themselves back out. A couple of stragglers still through those initial arch chokes. Team Gigantti still holding strong, and look at the ult charge Shadow's got for himself already. 78%. And there's only been one kill.
Help a lot when you're clicking on the head of the enemy Widowmaker. Darwin just saying, Guy, you deal with the flankers. I'll deal with the enemy Widow. And that seems to have worked out pretty well for them so far. 82% on that ultimate. We'll have it up and available in this next fight. We'll see if Naga runs into more trouble when he tries to go for the flank around the side once again, because it feels like the tanks of Gigantti, they do not want to give him an in.
Well, he gave an all little disruption to the side of Team Gigantti, and there's been a disconnect on the side of Copenhagen Flames, so we're going to have to take a quick break just while that's resolved.
Darnier, the one who's dropping out. Can't be losing your sniper in the middle of a match. Probably one of the most key members on that first point push. Again, it's been a slow start. Naga's tried to find that flank now twice to the side, but there has always been a tank there to greet him. And if you actually look to the top of the stairs, there's also a Zenyatta sat right there, just like, you dare come anywhere near me, boy, there's these balls coming for your head. Not a good place to be.
I really want to talk, but beg your pardon?
I landed you in it there. Oh, because we're stuck on camera.
We're stuck on camera.
There's so many times during broadcast where it's like, oh yeah, just mute button, turn away. In this case, there's no escape. Tridd.
No escape while we're on camera. Thank you very much, Darnier, for that one.
Landed
really
you
good.
in it.
Yeah, landed me in there a bit. But let's go back onto the series itself. So we've already seen Team Gigantti have solid control of that point offense. Darnier disconnecting. Could have had some issues before the disconnect itself. That might explain what's going on here, why they haven't been able to force through that choke yet. I do like what Naga's doing. He's creating that distraction on the right-hand side, and you're watching the rest of the team go to the left. Of course, it does leave him open to a pick in an unresable position. It's
a really good strat coming out of Gigantti, because they've acknowledged this is the style that Flames likes to play on Anubis. Normally you see most teams roll for something like an Orisa comp and try and hold the high ground. They've said, no, we are going to play dive tanks, because we know that way we can chase down anyone who tries to get into our backline nice and quick. And it's speaking for itself so far. They have not been able to get anywhere near, or Naga's not been able to get anywhere near the backline. The Zenyatta's sat at the top of the stairs behind a Winston and a D.Va who's got that defense matrix. He's going to really struggle to operate in this game, and they're quite confident from how things have stood so far that both Shadow and Davin have got the number of Darnier. And as it stands so far, we've seen him get headshot once, and that's been it.
But what do they do, though? Do they go to that 3-3 composition and then have to face Gigantti? Or do they go for something else? Do they go for full dive? We can put that on the cards for them, but I don't know who would take over responsibilities of what. Is Darnier a big Genji player?
He was on Bazooka Puppies last season. Who did he play with as his DPS? One of them was a big Genji player, and I can't remember who it was on Bazooka Puppies.
That's unfortunate, because neither can I, Des.
Was it Nesh?
Yes, Nesh was on Bazooka
Nesh was the Widowmaker player, and Nesh was the Tracer, and it was Darnier who played Genji, so yes, he can play it. Doesn't seem to be their style of play so far, though.
Fortunately, we're back into the map. Darnier has gracefully rejoined us.
Graceful brought him back. In graceful style.
Rezzed him from the disconnect. Didn't know Mercy had that power. OP, please no. Shadow's going to hold off to the left. 92% on that charge now, so coming close to that Dragon Strike. And Copenhagen Flames have kept control of the territory they've gained for themselves. Nerfed, however, cannot keep control of his life.
It's interesting that Gigantti are holding off to the left-hand side here. It's more often that you see them hold the right-hand side, and that's when you see flanks from Naga coming off to the side. Speaking of Naga, he's got the pulse bomb, so he will be looking for an angle now. That could be the big pick they need. Just bring down one member of the enemy team, turn it into a 6 versus 5, and the rest of the team can capitalize.
This seems to be an incredibly slow push, and I think the disconnect has obviously played into that a little bit, but we've seen zero progress made in terms of the territory that Copenhagen Flames are able to carve out for themselves. Now that they've got Molf and Nerf back up here on dive tanks, Pulse One's going to be whiffed, unfortunately, by Naga. No one's going to get that Dragon Strike from the side for Shadow, going to cut through them. Nerf going straight down, so any hopes of aggression has been stalled until Graceful can get in there with the Resurrection. He has popped his Valkyrie as well. Nice dink on the Danye. Not enough time for him to get back into the fight. Gonna have to wait for the respawn instead.
And Davin's got hold of the Infrasights. They can stall out for even longer. Look at the ultimates on the side of Gigantti. That blue bar is looking even more blue with all that electric flying around. They've got the tools needed. That was one ult from Shadow that shut down that whole attack. They are going to switch over to full dive on the side of Flames, though it is Danye picking up the Genji. Big question now is how do they reach Darwin without being killed?
Especially when they have to contend through a juggernaut of ultimates from Team Gigantti. They've got all the defensive ultimates they need, plus a self-destruct to really create some chaos in the Copenhagen Flames. Hopefully coordinated dive.
Double dink.
That's a double dink, but I don't believe it was enough to get the D-Mech on the back side of that. So Copenhagen Flames now have more territory than they've ever had on this map in this setting. But look who's at the back. They've still got Ding back there by himself, hoping to assist from afar. That makes him very vulnerable for someone to take a shot at him. Naga's going to find Ripper, so that opens it up for Copenhagen Flames. And Masa, both spots going down. Danye finding Shatter. Copenhagen Flames, they took their time about it, but they're finally making some progress. And they're going to cap point A.
It was quite nice, really, because all of Darwin's attention was being given onto the Zenyatta at the back, which meant that they could go for these dives. And getting both of these supports, we spoke about this in an earlier series today. If the first two members that die in a fight are the supports, either the dive was absolutely top tier, or you're not doing a very good job of keeping your supports alive.
It's always hard to make that call in Overwatch. Who is outperforming and who's underperforming? It's really hard to make the assessment unless you have a large spread of data to call upon. But Shadow now having to defend point B with the rest of his team. They use the Storm Arrow, pop a few arrows into the D.Va, then send the Dragon Strike through the terrain. People are hopping over it. No one's falling down to it, but Shadow's coming back into it. Already getting cut down by Danye's blade. No kills. He finds the Transcendence from Ripper to keep himself alive. Sound Barrier coming out from Graceful. They've been forced themselves into the corner for Copenhagen Flames to start shooting at them. As Shadow gonna get the Storm Arrow kill onto Graceful, Cloudy, Ripper. They find Nerfed and Ding, so they're missing crucial members of their team. This push, while valiant for Copenhagen Flames, is gonna be pushed back by Gigantti.
Despite a good 3 swings towards Shadow, he just would not die. And Danye, that blade, that was the big win condition for those guys. If they managed to get rid of any of the supports with it, it would have been fantastic. But Ripper had that Transcendence online. I was going to say, you don't really need to run dive on the second point now. It's a lot more brawly on that point. Maybe it's time to try a tank-based composition. That's exactly what they're going to go to, Tridd. They're going to roll that triple tank.
3-3, the old faithful of Season 2. Nice little hosing down from the Lightning. Shadow gonna get that Dragon Strike, send it straight through Danye. Gonna take the Spirit with him as Nerf finds Masa, got onto the back line. The Fara from RCK, it's made a return. They're also contending with Darwin's Junkrat, so lots of explosives to cut through the Copenhagen Flames. And Team Gigantti are just doing that. Danye gonna mix it up again, this time jumping onto the Widowmaker. Shadow, he's having a stellar match on this Hondo.
Look at his ult charge again, Tridd. At the very start of this fight, he brought out the dragons. He's already at 90% and on the way towards the next ultimate. This is now the 3rd fight in a row where, as it started, he has had that Dragon Strike available. The guy is charging it ridiculously fast, and we know that it charges quick. It's Dragon Strike. He just pings on that Stormbow. That's a free 30% towards your total ult charge. But the fact that he's making it happen so consistently just shows how high his damage output is in these fights.
Shadow's a bit of a conundrum. He's got the service times of a McDonald's, but the quality of a 5-star restaurant. It's unreal what this guy can put out with his Dragon Strikes. Already holding off to the side, getting ready to send it through again. He knows where Copenhagen Flames are going. Beautiful defense matrix there to keep him alive from all of that damage as he steps back and allows Copenhagen Flames to come into the shooting gallery. You can already see Morv getting a little bit greedy with that one. The Coalescence also giving him a hosing. And use terrain to hide away from that, but gets the D-Mech, then the kill onto Nerf. The tank line starting to falter. Copenhagen Flames unable to bring it back, and more of their time is burnt. Is going over to 1 minute 40.
Once again, back at 75%. Someone slow this guy down, please. Gigantti, though, they have the tools online. That Transcendence was the answer to the dive last time. And this time round, it's come at a really great time, too, because Naga has now got that Graviton Surge online. That's going to be a big win condition for Flames, but when you're being met by a support ultimate, it makes it really hard to use.
Ripper's the one to have that Transcendence almost ready to go. Davin's also got a Riptire here, so he can stay safe and get that damage out without anyone having to deal with him directly. And Copenhagen Flames going over to the right. Dragon Strike coming down a tight corridor. They're having to scatter, jump, bob, and weave. Already forcing out the defensive ultimate from Graceful. Danye finds Shatter. That's been a big player for Team Gigantti, so taking him out should give them an edge in this fight. But RCK's tried to level the playing field by finding Nerf while they're on the point, and they got bodies there. Evidence Cloudy comes out with another kill for Gigantti. They're still being able to do it. They haven't had to burn Trans yet, but Naga also hasn't had to use his Graviton Surge. Shatter's back on the field, hoping to pop some heads, make up for the lost time that he just missed out on. He tags Molfig very easily. Storm Arrow going to follow up, and look at this. Nerf might get staggered here if he's not careful, but Shatter also might lose his life. He gets the trade kill, so he manages to find something as he dies. But with 25 seconds on the clock, it's one push and done for Copenhagen Flames.
It was a real stalemate in that fight because Ripper didn't want to burn the Trans without the Graviton Surge coming out, but Naga was trying to ensure his team helped to force it out of Ripper before they drop the combo to win. One of them's got to use it in this fight, and I imagine it's going to be Naga who's forced to pop it. Another Dragon Strike comes through.
The movement speed from Graceful is really important there to keep it apart. Graviton Surge has been used, and there's the Transcendence. As expected, the Coalescence is going to cut through them. Shatter blocked out by the bubble of LH Cloudy. That's another wasted ultimate for Copenhagen Flames. He's got the Primal Rage available. He might not even need to use it. Nerf takes out Shadow again, but he's already found Naga. Ripper going to be the one to bring down the Behemoth. With Graviton Surge, sorry, not even that. Self-destruct, sat there on the point. Ripper finds Danye. 0% on point B accrued for them. Team Gigantti, it's looking like this is their map to take.
Does feel that way, Tridd. Only a couple of points to roll through, and they find themselves in the spot with their third series victory, I should say, and the third map victory, so both statements are true. Curious to see what they try to run. Again, the standard thing we see often is Orisa with some snipers packed behind it. That's the sort of thing I'd expect Flames to win, knowing they have a very, very strong roster that plays that. We see Naga play Junkrat quite a lot, so I think that might come through too. And I do wonder if we would ever get the opportunity to see one of the supports pick up that Roadhog. Don't imagine it'll be the case here. No one's going towards that Mercy just yet. I say that, and Graceful locks it in.
Well, going to be running that defense nerfed on the Orisa. Moving over, so they're going to be playing with the deployable combo rather than the constantly moving one that Cloudy will more than likely roll with on this Reinhardt.
He's going to try and have some high ground control, the anti-dive on the lower ground. It's pretty much the standard staple thing that we have seen on Anubis almost since Orisa's release into the roster. Gigantti, expect them to try and run some dive. We know what these guys can do, but if they choose to roll with tanks instead, it comes as no big surprise. We've already seen their 3-3 prowess today. I would like to see their dive come out so they can remind us of just how convincing they are on it. And Davin especially, he would love that. This guy, the big Tracer player, everyone was concerned that coming into this season it would be the end of the Tracer meta with the release of Brigitte. Hasn't quite been the case. We're still seeing a lot of things like a Widow Tracer combo. We're still seeing dive. We saw it last round. So he's still got that opportunity to flex on kids with that Tracer.
A lot of Tracer play still existing in Season 2, so those worries were a little bit blown out of proportion by a lot of the community.
What's new?
What's new? Yeah. You guys, I don't really want to take your... you'd be really bad stockbrokers, put it like that. You'll see like the wind will change and suddenly you'll just de-invest in a major company and lose a lot of money.
Sell, sell, sell.
Sell, sell, sell. It's a fire sell.
But Tracer stock's still pretty high.
Tracer stock is still looking good. So Team Gigantti going to move out. Shatter sticking with the Hanzo. They're taking a triple tank. Davin taking over the D.Va responsibilities.
Yeah,
and RCK is playing Zarya. Interesting way to mix this one up. There must be a good reason for it, though,
I'm going to have to ask the guys, like, this is a really interesting change. We know that RCK is a prolific D.Va player, and we know that Darwin was a big part of their comp last season when it came to playing the Zarya. So why have they mixed things up? I'm definitely going to ask. This is really interesting. Yeah,
something to ask, hopefully, in the post-match interview, assuming that they can finish this matchup. They've already made more ground, and Darwin takes out Nerf from the back line. Danye trying to contend with the kill count, but he can't keep up. Shatter going to jump onto Ding. Molfig finding Cloudy, so they've lost that linchpin, that safe lineup, and here's Danye getting on the board. Naga's going to follow up with the Junkrat, so they're not having to run double sniper composition. Danye looking for that tight angle, pixel perfect, finds Darwin. We thought this could have been a rollover, Des, but Copenhagen Flames, they're putting up a fight.
Arrow needs protection on the high ground is what both DPS players from Flames were saying there. Naga getting a few kills, Danye getting just as many. They cleaned up that attack from Gigantti. Biggest concern for me was that Gigantti basically got a free push in here. Nerf was left out to dry on the Orisa. We saw how that worked out. He got crushed pretty much immediately.
Hang on a minute. Ripper found Naga from a distance with the Zenyatta. This guy's channeling Jonak right now, and I'm loving it. RCK on the ground floor. There's the Riptide from Naga. Can they take out of it? High charge for RCK. Already dealing some damage. Nice protected barriers, and Darwin's there to save them with the shot. No stalling out for Naga after the barriers went down. Graviton Surge available for RCK. He's going to want to hold on to that until the second point, because it looks like Team Gigantti have got a solid grasp on point A.
Davin's Widow, we spoke about it quite a lot, but it hasn't been like a game-ending thing, but it hasn't been a game-losing thing either. But this is how I've always described this guy's Tracer play style, is that it is safe and it is calculated. Davin doesn't go for these big, flashy plays.
Grab Dragon combination available, only 33% required. Here comes the stall from Morph with the self-destruct. No one's falling victim to it. Valkyrie's pop, Graviton Surge is there. Dragon Strike going to go through the middle. No shield, no healing, and it's going to be a whitewash. Team Gigantti needs to get more kills though. Spawn proximity. Going to hand it over to Copenhagen Flames. They don't clean up fast, and I don't think they're doing it fast enough, Des. They need to get a couple more kills under their belt. Darwin going to answer the call. Naga drops. Shatter going to take out Ding, and the spawns can't come in fast enough. Team Gigantti win the map and win the series.
And just like our earlier series, it's going to turn into that fourth map opportunity. One for Flames to add another loss onto Gigantti's map record. They've already lost 2, or only lost 2, I suppose you could argue. But as it stands, they are looking fantastic, both on the defense on the second point. Every single fight, they had an answer. Every single fight, there was a Dragon Strike coming out of Shatter. On the other side, Flames just kind of falling a bit at the key moments, I think, there. That initial Orisa defense wasn't really the most solid thing for them. And the second point we saw that, they didn't even have a chance to get set up.
Well, Flames' goal has now changed. They can't win this series, so they will be going 0-3. The map wins matter even more now, and they can start right now by taking over the fourth map. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Copenhagen Flames will be fighting for survival. Well, the Finnish Fire Brigade has been done dousing the flames, and unfortunately it's also their hopes. We need to get those embers back up and burning, though, and they can start right now on this fourth map.
Chance to prove they are more than just Copenhagen Embers. They are Copenhagen Flames. They've got that fire inside them. We saw it out of them previously. They can show that they can put up a good fight. It's just got to be consistent throughout a whole map. And now that all the pressure's off, they know the series is done, but they know this is their opportunity to take at least a map win off Gigantti. That would be a great statement for this new roster to say, we've been together a week, but we can take it away from last season's finalists. Maybe they can do it.
You're saying the pressure is on, Des. Like, kind of have to disagree with you, unfortunately.
The pressure is off because it's
pressure,
lost.
No, pressure is off. No, I'm saying the pressure is on.
I see. I'm
right.
with you.
Because the problem is, yes, the pressure is off for this series. They know they've lost this series, but what about their playoff hopes? The pressure is on now. They have to be infallible for the next 2 weeks, and they haven't exactly got the easiest opponents coming up. I believe they've still got some mighty competition to stare down in the final weeks of the group stage. Rialto, going to be the place where we finish off the series and finish off the night.
And we spoke on our last death segment about the creativeness we see coming through on Rialto. Comp-wise, strat-wise, each point's a whole different story in and of itself. Gigantti will remember this map very fondly, you might say, against Eagle Gaming. It was basically a first point clash of both teams on attack and defense. It was incredibly close. Flames probably looking to take it a bit further than the first point this time round.
Well, Team Gigantti on the defense first. The apologies for the overlay. It will need to be switched around. Team Gigantti obviously defending, and it's going to be Copenhagen Flames to set the benchmark for Rialto to be completed.
So you would hope. And I mean, defense, I love it when they mess around like this because you have no idea what they're going to pull out. Shadow just really enjoys the... I think that's almost like his treat of saying, guys, please, let me just play. And they're like, no, jump in the river. And he's like, fine.
No, Satyrs just stood behind him with the belt ready to go. No, you're not playing Doomfist. All right,
today.
I will beat you with friendship.
Friendship, love, and team synergy.
Obviously, he'd say all of that, but in finish.
Not to Shadow, he wouldn't.
Well, no, Shadow has to take Finnish lessons. It's part of the contract for Team Gigantti.
I swear they said they were speaking in English, and that was what they were all having to change to do.
It's the big debate. They don't want to make him think they're forcing Shadow to do anything that he doesn't want to do.
He's speaking Finnish now, boys. Well, you learn a lot of things. You learn some Overwatch. You learn some languages as well. One language Gigantti is speaking is victory. They're on the push. Oh, sorry, it's probably the way around. Even I'm being debated now by the headers as well. It's Flames on the attack, Gigantti on the defense.
Yeah, and already conceded a lot of ground, but we typically see the payload stop on this first choke as they enter the courtyard area. The terrain is just so in favor of the defending team because they have that corner to play behind. Holt comes up. It will be a little bit too far to make them fall in line. As Shadow looking for a flank already. He's found himself a tasty Widowmaker. Nowhere for Danye to run and immediately shut down as he too was looking for the flank and the line of sight of Gigantti. They're holding up quite well. Graceful goes in for a resurrection, wasn't guarding the body, and ding, you found your support, and he's playing the Roadhog. Question answered. Graceful is the Mercy player, and throughout the series, he'll continue to do that.
That 3-2-1 Orisa comp, we said we were going to see a lot more of it this week, and we have seen it in spades. First round attack, that's exactly what Flames are going to roll with. It was really kind of cute the way that Danye went for a flank, and immediately the team communicated to Shadow saying, right, he's going around the side, go and get him, Tiger, and he was round there with the rockets ready to introduce Danye to the coast.
Dragon Strike is isolated Cloudy, but the Coalescence can keep him topped up from a distance. The reinforcements are going to come in after he has passed him by. And Gigantti haven't fallen yet. Naga, this time he's trying for a flank.
Oh, the flank.
Ripper. They're missing the main healer. They have to deal with Master's solo healing. Shadow takes out Danye again. And here's Naga again with the D-Mech for Molfik to clean up with the kill. And Ding's still on the side with the Roadhog, diverting the attention of Shadow and Darwin for Naga to come clean up with the Hanzo. Drops down to the ground. Ding finding a kill on the Roadhog. They've cleared out the courtyard area and now pushing it towards the first checkpoint. Cloudy finally going to go down for Danye, and Ding gets the whole hog out just to make sure.
Naga was doing work on Hanzo the whole of that round. This double sniper is what we spoke about for the Flames. Danye and the Widowmaker, he is one of the best Widowmakers we have in Contenders at the minute. Naga, at times, consistency seems to be his issue at this moment, but he does have these high moments, and this is one of them on that push. He was dinging heads left, right, and center.
Look at the threat Ding's pushing onto this team. They force Cloudy to look to the right, because if he gets a hook and pivots, he can drop someone in the water. Already they've moved forward, and the Dragon Strike's going straight through. They've lost that supercharger already. Graviton Surge, no one to be found in the middle of it. Underwhelming from Darwin as the self-destruct's going to go over the top for RCK. The grab comes in from Ripper. That's a kill for Copenhagen Flames on the brink of getting that first checkpoint, and Naga being forced out by RCK. Look at the line that Cloudy's holding. He hasn't got as much healing as he wants. He's trapped in the middle for Naga to come and kill. RCK's about to get D-Mech. Look at that, the resurrection behind the barrier, keeping them nice and tasty because Shadow has moved on to another main tank. They're going to be pushing up the double shield, but the shield can't hold against that Dragon Strike. Naga going to clean it up with the help of Danye. They should be able to get this first checkpoint, but they can just deal with Ripper.
It's kind of funny how the high time Naga was on the left-hand side. He was basically ignoring Shadow and trying to burn every other member down. I don't know if he was just not used to seeing Shadow's name with a tank below it, but he was not focusing it at all. But for Gigantti, I like their experimenting. We like this out of teams when they do try and change things up. And that double sniper, it gets countered quite hard by the double shield. Big problem is though, when the Dragon Strike comes online, well, good luck defending against that because shields will do you no good.
Shadow from DPS to tank. And now to support as he picks up the Brigitte. Cloudy's still got the Shadow in his pocket. And this is a confined space. They can break through the shield. There's the Shatter. I'm not sure who that hit, but it's locking down someone for RCK to go in for the kill. Master going to take out Nerf Ding, using the whole hog and protect the barrier. Somehow he's ended up on the other side of the bridge, but he's with the payload. That's what counts. There's the pivot we were talking about. Going to send Cloudy for a dip and making sure that main tank is out of the way. The stall still in action, and Copenhagen Flames got a very aggressive position to hold them. And Danye's mixing up again. Nice hook. Brigitte taken out. Dragon Strike going to come through and finish everyone else off. What's happened to Copenhagen Flames? They seem to have woken up in the final map of this series.
This is what Roadhog enables you to do, is get these crucial picks that change the sway of a fight. On that first point, it was about grabbing the Mercy and shutting her down that won it for them. In this one, it was removing their only shield tank. It was getting rid of Cloudy. Best way to get rid of him, drop him in the river.
That armor's going to weigh you down. It's going to be hard to swim in that unless you have some, let's say, boys built into your mount. So, Darwin going to get hooked up. Graviton Surge available for him. Going to send it straight to the floor. Eaten by Molf, I believe, there. Yep. Unable to get that one off. So, Darwin not having the best game on this Zarya. Maybe that's why RCK's picked up the slack a little bit. Self-destruct dropping down. Also dropping down as this barrage is being eaten up by RCK. Flame Strike from Cloudy. He doesn't need any DPS to take out an aerial target. He's got it all under control. Graceful's going to be forced off the map. Team Gigantti has stopped the payload on the home stretch of that second checkpoint.
Reset coming through from Flames, but a great push from the first point to get all the way down here. And we saw this in the earlier series. We were speaking about how teams often struggle on the defensive side to hold in this choke. It's such a big scrappy point, and the main hold always comes as you get towards the point at the top of the hill. That's where most of the fights start occurring. But Gigantti have managed to hold them. Now they can take the building as their fortress and force Flames back. Or they can let them walk straight in and say, welcome guys, everyone is welcome inside our mansion.
You can see the importance that Copenhagen Flames put onto the Zenyatta. They traded away the Roadhog, even though he had whole hogs. They weren't even willing to waste the time to get that one out. So Ding's coming in on the Zenyatta, and they've got Naga's Dragon Strike. They can clear out this high ground if they want to. Danye's trying his best, but he's not been successful at doing so. Here comes the damage boost, Dragon Strike coming straight off, so they have no line of retreat. That's fine for Team Gigantti. They're just going to move forward. They're going to keep running over, and Darwin and Cloudy taking out their opposite men. Danye left by himself should be taken out quite quickly. He's going to have an RCK flying to the face. Not only that, damage all from Ripper.
It was a good call to switch Ding across. He's already got 50% charge. The reason why they decided to abandon that ult is it's probably one of the most useless ults in the game. It's incredibly situational. You've got to find the right spot to use it. Clearly they think of Transcendence is the right answer, but they've got 10 seconds to got it up to 100% Tridd, and they've only got hold of the Earth Shadow.
Go for world record pace to get themselves that Transcendence, if that's their game plan. Nerf has the Earth Shatter, he could line it up. He's been locked up and taken out before he even had a chance to do it. Unfortunately, he's not going to be pulling that one out as Ripper, with the Coalescence and the Damage Orb, will keep them away. Team Gigantti stop Copenhagen Flames just shy of the second point.
That's the problem with rolling the double DPS. Gigantti on the 3-3 can bowl over that front line of Nerf. You saw him push in, all 6 members converged on him. Didn't matter what bubbles came out of the Zarya, he was popped and it was game over. Now Gigantti get to show us what plans they've been making on their attacking round, and given how creative they've been on things like Volskaya and on the defense just a second ago, I'm expecting some fun stuff.
You'd like to think so to finish this one off, but maybe Gigantti's going, all right, enough with the shenanigans. Let's put this to rest. Let's make sure that everyone knows we're not going to get 3-1s today. We are going to get the 4-0 and start really making a dent in that map difference, because we're going to need it if we're starting to contend with these other teams.
And you've got to think as well, although it's very early to think about this, first and second seed in Group B is quite important, because already you've got Young and Beautiful and British Hurricanes starting to have a scrap over that 4th place spot. Above that, you're seeing some teams in pretty good contention that you've got to worry about. So I think it's going to be a scrap. They want that first place. They want to try and get these map wins going. Of course, they've got to bring a defeat to CIS Hope in that final game, and that sets up a very fun storyline in Week 5 as to who walks away with first place.
A lot of potentials for playoffs, and we'll start to delve a little bit deeper into that as we go into Week 4 and 5. But we're already teasing with the idea of how that bracket's going to shape up after Week 5. Team Gigantti now on their offense. Looking like Double Shield is going to be coming out, and Shadow's hovering that Orisa again. Meanwhile, Copenhagen Flames, they want to run Darnier on that Widowmaker. However, they're opting for Naga to go onto the Pharah. I think that's because they're expecting a tankier composition from Team Gigantti, and I wouldn't blame them for thinking that.
They would not be wrong, but there is a Pharah. And Pharah generally pretty good against shields, good against 2 shields. It's a bit of a question mark over that one. We'll see how it plays out though, because Darnier also rolling out the gate with the Widowmaker. No surprises there again, one of his strongest heroes to pick. He'll be playing behind that nerf shield more likely than not, just to try and slow down this Gigantti advance. Okay, so initial high ground being held on top of the balcony, watching straight away. No concussive blast to get an environmental kill, and Gigantti, as expected, going to walk over that first bridge. Here's where the choke comes in. How long would it take them to break it, if they even manage to do so, as they push forward? And Naga already getting attention from RCK, as you'd expect. He's flying up there, managing to weave those rockets quite nicely behind the shield of Cloudy. Meanwhile, Danny's right at the back. They have to get on him by moving as a unit. Naga goes for the reposition. And already you can see they're forcing way beyond the payload to clear out the entrenchment of Copenhagen Flames. But while they're doing that, Darnier and Nerf are picking up the kills. They've already set Gigantti on the back foot. They're trying to regroup, and the angle Darnier has is really dangerous for Gigantti to hold this position. It's the problem with the overextension, like you were speaking about. In fact, it was the other side. It was Flames who were going a bit too aggressive on their King Row attack. The King's Row attack that led to them kind of falling down. This time around, it's Gigantti. So reining in again. You've got this very slow double shield composition. Make sure you're playing behind it, playing to its strengths. It's the whole reason why you take double shield in the first place. Naga's got that barrage available. Nearly all ultim across the board for Copenhagen Flames. Nerf just needs to play catch-up, but Supercharger does take a while to build up. It's going to give everyone that nice damage boost. Gigantti forcing through. Here it comes. Coalescence immediately to disguise, and they send RCK for him. Terrain being used for Naga to make sure he stays alive, but it forces him out of the courtyard for a moment. And hopefully Team Gigantti can capitalize on that. Shatter being dropped down. RCK demexed, and the self-destruct going to be the one to take him back as RCK onto Molfik. Here comes Naga with that barrage. Finds Ripper for Shatter to then shut down, but without the healing. It's looking very dangerous for him. 16 HP. He just needs a tap, and he's going to go. He's looking for Darnier. There's no way for him to run. Light machine gun guns him down, and it's a little bit too late for Molf to shut it out. 2 supports. Support and a tank onto Molf. They can knock him back. Here comes a support of his own. He should level the playing field. Cloudy going to cut across. The reinforcements for Gigantti got here a little bit faster. They have the momentum to keep this pushing, but Copenhagen Flames don't want to roll over and die just yet. They really want to keep them rolling. This double shield comp as well, not willing to change out for anything. They want to prove that it can work. It's almost like they've been theorizing this for a long time. They've been practicing it. They don't want to abandon it at such a crucial moment. But Flames are coming in for a hold. There's the sound barrier. And the Supercharger to back them all up. Look at the lights connect to them. Darnier from the side has found Shadow without his shield. 18 HP. He can't keep up that attack. While the chaos is going on, Team Gigantti roll over Copenhagen Flames and force out the next stage of Rialto. This is where one of Orisa's kind of key weaknesses comes to light. You saw it there when you had Naga trying, or Darnier, sorry, plugging away on the Hanzo, trying to bring him down. Just turn around, and because he already had the Supercharger down, that 50% damage boost, Orisa turns into having a massive machine gun on her arm there, not just something that normally tickles you. It can do a hell of a lot of damage, and you saw that's kind of part of this comp. You drop it behind, you put the Orisa shield in front, the whole team just pushes forward as 5 and wipes out whatever is in front of them. From Nerf gun to 50 cal, it's a big transition that caught Darnier off guard. Still on this Hanzo, Naga's still up in the sky. The rest of Team Gigantti are onto that corner, just forcing it under the bridge. Davin's got a Graviton Surge. If he wants to get a D-Mech on Molf, make sure he doesn't have it eaten again. Actually, the deterrence was enough to bring them together. There's the Coalescence, self-destruct going over the top. The Gigantti Big Bang is there, only for Nerf to be taken out. And now, look at this, Molf setting up one of his own. He's going to get the D-Mech, going to get the Remech, sorry, as Darnier. Still from the side, Davin's got eyes on him, but he's being distracted by some damage from elsewhere. Molf on the payload, locking it up, buying more time for the reinforcements for Copenhagen Flames to come into play. Shatter comes down, knocks down Ripper, but he's being knocked out by the tanks. They're protecting the backline, keeping him alive, but they can't protect him from Darnier. He's going to find RCK. Davin takes out Nerf. Still no tank line for Copenhagen Flames in position, and the rally coming out from Shatter is going to reinvigorate everyone moving into this next fight. They want to make sure that Naga cannot stay, Darnier cannot stay on the Dragon Strike, pushing it onto the point. They've knocked him off of the payload, and Copenhagen Flames are trying to get back into the fight. Almost there, though, with only 0.8 meters left until this one is all said and done. It's going to be a close final fight. You're looking at ults on the side of Flames as well. They've got hold of the transit. They need to go for the stall, so they will detract them momentarily. You tend to need your main tank to make this one work, but Shadow back on the Brigitte means they do have that 3-3 pressure that we spoke about before. It's the thing that led to Nerf's downfall. They can go for a full wipe with that. Just don't want to get caught up by Naga on the way through. Playing around the corner. You
see Naga, he's lining up for a barrage. He wants to shower Team Gigantti as they run through, but RCK's been pretty aware. They're constantly tracking his position with the Coalescence. Transcendence coming out, there's the barrage. Gonna break through, gets Cloudy. No eating for RCK there. He was starving outside the diner. They've got plenty of time to play for, though. 1 minute 40 still on the clock. Gigantti know they can back away from this. They just don't want to lose too much and feed too much ult charge into Flames.
Absolutely not. 1.5 minutes means maybe 3 more attacks if they're quick about it. They do have Masara and the Lucio, so they can roll out a little bit quicker than what other comps can. We've also got to think about how far in this payload is. They've got a long way to be able to chase onto this one. They could try going through the house if they wanted to, pushing upstairs and dropping on the payload. Instead, they're going to opt to go back round through main, try and push in there with the 4 ultimates they've got on side.
They have their typical wipe combo through the payload. Cloudy drops the Shatter, and they're fighting against the Dragon Strike. Repositioned to the side, and the Graviton Surge is at the back. They're taking hammer swings at something that's too far away to hit. But guess what? That self-destruct should ground him. Gonna move to the back. Moth there. Cloudy can put up a shield and keep the rest of his team alive, but Davin wants the free energy for his attack. They're away from the payload. Gigantti are gonna walk it in. They're gonna take the series 4-0 and get themselves even closer to playoffs.
In a very, very dominating position, same as CIS Hope, down below them only by Matt wins, but another convincing victory from Gigantti. We spoke about Shadow back in week 1, slotting into this roster. He's showing week after week how versatile he is and how much he adds to this team. Brigitte, Orisa, we're seeing him on the far at points as well. Even the Hanzo, he's bringing a lot to them and they're looking on fire. I can't wait to see when they come up against CIS Hope in week 5.
Well, Sata's done fantastic work bringing this roster together, and like Des said, just optimizing everything in their roster. We're going to take it over to the analysts and see what they think of the second half of that series.